My research essay was about analyzing the movie Interstellar and seeing how the father and daughter, parent and child, dynamic played into the film. It shows that early on in the film, Murphy and Cooper were always the key to making the whole system work. Without Murphy trying to solve the equation, and without Cooper leaving her and going into a black hole to get the data needed to solve the equation, humanity as we know it would have been doomed. The entire fate of the human race depends on both of them, but through the whole course of the movie you always think that the fate of the world rests on Cooper's shoulders. This directly connects to how we view the relationship of a parent and a child. A parent always trying to fend off the woes of the world from their children, a watchful protector who always knows the right and the wrong way and always has the right answers. But this is where the movie flips it on us. We realize that the key to saving the human race was a child behind the parent all along. This point is proven even more when Cooper wakes up in the hospital on Cooper Station, the space station that humanity built after leaving Earth, and Cooper says that they named it after him, but the doctor corrected him and said that they actually named it after his daughter. Now Cooper is not distraught about this fact, but rather pleasantly surprised, as any parent would be when they get totally burned after realizing their child, with the help of all humanity, actually did the heavy lifting. But without Cooper making the initial parental decision to leave his family, face the vastness of space, seeing the loss of some good comrades, and the final sacrifice of his life so that Dr. Brand could continue the mission, this wouldn't have been possible. In the end, it was teamwork that saved the day, but it's still her name on the plaque. I continue this talk about how a parent and child relationship in fiction could reflect on today's parent and child relationship we see in real life, with the parent in my life, my mom.
So you are a DCF worker. You have
social worker.
A social worker. I'm sorry.
Yes.
You have to deal with children and families.
All day.
All
every day.
So tell me about those types of relationships. You know, in Interstellar, we see that the bond gets strengthened, that the
I think
ties
that the
were...
bond between parent and child is one of the strongest bonds that there ever could be.
Now, do you think that there is a special bond between parent and child, like this is my biological parent and I am their biological child, compared to someone who is adopted and then gets raised by another family? Do you think that there is a difference in that connection? Do you think that there's something to be said about it being your biological parent?
Yes, but for a different reason. I think, well, what I see with the kids that I work with, who, and you hear about the stories, they have programs about it, that children who are adopted or were placed or removed or moved from their parents' care for whatever reason, no matter what, they always want to go back. They want to know where they came from, who are their people, who do they look like, and it's a connection that they need to have and they need to make. It doesn't matter. You can have a child who's been, removed from their parents' house or home or adopted, and they all want to go back and search for their mother and father. I think that connection, it's not to diminish the connection that they have from their psychological parents, the parents who raised them, because there is a connection, but there's kind of a duality, I think, in it, where they respect, and they love.
But it's not the same.
But there's something, what is the word I'm looking for? It's like a draw, it's like a call, that they need to know
where they came from. They need to know their start before they can figure out the end. That makes a whole lot of sense.
They need, but it's also, why do you have Ancestry.com? Because we all want to search, we want to go back to see, well, where did we come from? Who do we look like?
Yeah.
What's the stuff that makes us who we are?
We always want to see, we always want to drill in a little bit more.
Absolutely.
And that's kind of a main theme of Interstellar. Diving into the black hole, seeing beyond the horizon, going where no one has gone before.
Star Trek.
Yep,
okay.
And all that stuff. No, that was when he went into the black hole.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and then it was in Murphy's bedroom. And then that connects to how everybody wants to connect back. You always want to come back to that one spot, to your kid, to the parent. It's a connection there. It's deeper than we think, and that's where the start of the movie started, because that's where she said stay. and then it ends. It ends where it starts, as most good movies do. But yeah.
Interesting.
But that's like a prime case. Usually there's some character growth or something like that. But is there really any character growth in Interstellar? Like, Murphy grows up and discovers some stuff. Cooper kind of...
His son doesn't, however.
Nah, not really. He just kind of runs a farm and...
No, but he gets stuck.
In a way, maybe he was neglected by his father's love or something like that. He was like, oh, my son's going to be fine. What do you think about that? Cooper just kind of being like, oh, my son's going to be fine even though he's not going to see me for his entire life, pretty much. Yeah, no, he never saw his dad again, actually. That was the last time he saw his father. What do you think? What kind of emotional trauma that could put on a person? To know a person for about 14 years and then...
Goodbye.
Yeah, nothing.
That's death.
Yeah, essentially.
That's death.
That's a deeper topic. That's
very
much.
Death.
Yeah, that's death.
I think that the difference between Cooper, between Murphy and the brother, I think that they were both connected to their dad, just a different type of connection. I think that as time went on, Murphy had faith, and Murphy believed and trusted that she would see her dad again. That he would. There's like Cooper made a promise, and she believed him and took him at his word, no matter what it looked like. No matter what it looked like, she believed in that promise. Whereas I think his son lost faith in him and allowed the noise of the world to cloud that pure belief.
In my essay, I went on an old way of thinking. In the movie, the granddad was like, it's time to repopulate the earth when the earth is clearly dying and it's time to, hop out of there. It seemed like he attached to that old way of thinking. He fell into the system that Cooper didn't want him to fall into. He wanted his son to grow up to be something greater than a farmer, and his son essentially saw his dad die and grew up to be a father and saw his kid die. He had a tortured life, and he still... Yeah, in a way. And he still sent messages to his dad.
He did, but he gave up.
That's true.
Whereas Murphy didn't.
Well, she gave up for a while, but she always had that... Oh, really?
There's a verse in the Bible, faith the size of... if you have faith the size of a mustard seed, and if you know what a mustard seed looks like,
yes,
it's like I think it may be like the tiniest seed or something like that.
Yeah.
Sometimes that's all you need. And I think as parents, as connections, you believe, you hold out for hope that no matter what's going on, that your children will land, that your children will do well, and that they'll be okay. But that's not this conversation. We were talking about connection.
That kind of is this conversation.
No,
it's about connection and hope and faith and the whole sphere of a parent and child relationship. The 18 years, but it's plus.
Well, when you think about the parent-child relationship, biological.
Yeah.
I mean, truth be told, it is sperm and egg that come together. A piece of, dad and a piece of mom that come together to create life. And then if you keep going back, that DNA or that blood goes back.
Like forever until the first. And that is the wildest, that's the most wildest shit.
You can't tell me that there isn't a God. Or a creator, a larger being.
Something that started it, yeah. The fact that I am one in a line, but I am my own individual.
And it's not like those connections, you pick your friends, you pick other people. This is something that comes you with art.
Yes. When you create a piece, the stuff that's on your wall, that comes from you. Yeah. It's something that's inside that you put into the physical world.
Right. that came from your mind, that came from your vision. You may have taken you may have looked at something and been inspired, and then you create your creation. When you know, what does Jaden do when he creates pottery? There's a sense of pride because I made that, my hands created that. There's something to say about that connection. So, parent-child relationship.
Yeah, and you hope that you can find that connection when you want to create a child.
Well, I mean, it's a huge responsibility.
It's true. This isn't a dog. No.
And it does not come with a manual.
Oh, of course not.
So therefore, there's a lot of, what is the word? There's a whole lot of speed bumps and
trouble.
A lot of speeds of trial and error. There's a whole lot of trial and error. And I think just like in anything else, everything else in the world or in life, you have to sometimes make mistakes to grow and learn.
Yeah.
So you gotta trust that it's gonna work out in the end.
And that's faith.
And that is faith.
That is faith.